Borthakur IAS Academy, an endeavor of excellence.
Borthakur IAS Academy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC, APSC and NPSC preparations. I'm your friend Atreyi and I hope you all are doing well. Today I'm here with another segment of Current Affairs 365 dated 25th of June 2021. We'll be discussing all the news and updates for today which are going to help you for preparing in civil services examination, and along with that it will also be helpful for any other Assam state government services. So don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram. So today's first news is about reform linked borrowing. Indian states were able to borrow an extra amount of rupees 1.6 lakh crore for the financial year of 21 due to the reform linked borrowing window. This was announced to provide an additional leeway to states in order to cope with the adverse effects of COVID-19 pandemic on economy. Part 12 of the Indian Constitution, it deals with borrowing by the central government and state government. This comprises of two provisions. Article 292 covers borrowing by the central government, and the Article 293, it covers borrowing by the state government. This provision, it provides incentives to the states to adopt progressive policies to avail additional funds. And last year in October, the central government, it had linked the permission for additional borrowing of 1% of their GSDP to implementation of 4 critical reforms. GSDP stands for Gross State Domestic Product, and these 4 critical reforms are implementation of One Nation, One Ration Card system, ease of doing business reform, urban local body or utility reforms, and the power sector reforms. For states completing 3 of these 4 reforms, the centre would provide an additional fund assistance of rupees 2,000 crore for capital expenditure. Now let us have a look at these 4 critical reforms. First one is the One Nation, One Ration Card system. This was aimed to ensure that the beneficiaries under National Food Security Act and other welfare schemes, especially those who are migrant workers and their family, they get ration from any fair price shop across the country. And other aims of the intended reform were to get better target beneficiaries, elimination of duplicate ration cards, and thus enhance repair and reduce any leakage. For this, the reform conditions stipulated Aadhaar seeding of all ration cards, biometric authentication of beneficiaries, and automation of all the FPS in the state. Second one is the ease of doing business reform. It is to facilitate a better environment and seamless process for entrepreneurs and companies to operate. The reforms stipulated in this category are completion of first assessment of the district level business reform action plan, elimination of the requirements of renewal of registration certificates, approvals obtained by business under various acts, and last one is implementation of a computerized central random inspection system under the acts. The third reform is urban local body or utility reforms. These reforms are aimed at financial strengthening of the urban local bodies in the states and to enable them to provide better public health and sanitation services to the citizens. The last one is the power sector reforms, and there are 3 parameters which a state must meet under the power sector reforms, which includes the reduction in aggregate technical and commercial losses, targeted reduction in average cost of supply and average revenue realization gap, and the last one is direct benefit transfer of the electricity subsidy to farmers. Secondly, we have the G20 Labour and Employment Ministers meeting. In this meeting, the Union Minister for Labour and Employment said that India is making collective efforts to reduce gender gaps in labour force participation. G20 is an informal group of 19 countries and the European Union with representatives of the International Monetary Fund as well as the World Bank. So here in this news, we will discuss the issues which were brought up in this meeting. Then we will see the initiatives which has been undertaken by our country in order to reduce the gap in labour force participation. We'll also see the constraints which are still there when it comes to female labour force participation, and finally we will see the possible way ahead. So first of all, in this meeting there were certain issues which were highlighted. It includes women employment, social security and remote working. In 2014, the G20 leaders pledged in Brisbane to reduce the gender gap in labour force participation rates between men and women by 25% by the year 2025. Also, they had this aim of bringing 100 million women into the labour market, increasing global and inclusive growth, and reducing poverty and inequality. Coming to the initiatives which were highlighted by India, when it comes to educational and skill efforts, we have brought up the new National Education Policy 2020, which aims to bring about reforms in school and higher education systems. India is strengthening its educational and skilling efforts to ensure quality education from preschool to senior secondary stage. Then the National Skill Development Mission. It aims to create convergence across sectors and states in terms of skill training activities. We have also included the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, which enables the youth to take up industry-related skill training to assist them in securing better opportunities. Moreover, digital educational content has been made available on various e-learning platforms like Swayam, Diksha, etc. For employment generation, we have included the Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana. Here, the government is paying up to 24% of wages towards EPF contributions for all the new employees, along with those who lost their jobs in the pandemic and are being re-employed. In order to ensure women participation, we have included the new Code on Wages 2019. It will reduce gender-based discrimination in wages, recruitment and conditions of employment. We have also made available the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana and the new Code on Social Security. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana provides financial support to women entrepreneurs to start small business. And the new Code on Social Security will now include even self-employed and all other classes of workforce into the folds of Social Security coverage. Then this meeting also discussed about the G20 roadmap towards and beyond the Brisbane target. And the new targets which has been included are increasing the quality and quantity of women's employment, ensuring equal opportunities and achieving better outcomes in labour market, then promoting a more even distribution of women and men across sectors and occupations, tackling the gender pay gap, promoting a more balanced distribution of paid and unpaid work between men and women, and addressing discrimination and gender stereotypes in the labour market. Now, the constraints in female labour force participation. There are many drawbacks. The major includes stereotyping in society. India's societal norms are such that women are expected to take the responsibility of their family and childcare. So this stereotype is a critical barrier to women's labour force participation. And due to this, women are in constant conflict over the allotment of time for work, and this affects their professional as well as personal life. Then the digital divide. In India, in the year 2019, internet users were 67% male and 33% female. And this gap is even bigger when it comes to the rural areas. The technological disruption is another important drawback. Women hold most of the administrative and data processing roles that artificial intelligence and other technologies threaten to usurp. So as routine jobs become automated, the pressure on women will intensify and they will experience higher unemployment rates. Then the lack of gender-related data. Globally, major gaps in gender data and the lack of trend data make it hard to monitor the progress. In India too, the significant gaps in data on the girl child prevent a systematic longitudinal assessment of the lives of girls. The last one is impact of COVID-19. Owing to this pandemic, global female employment is 19% more at risk than the male employment, as per a report by the ILO estimates. So work opportunities for women are restricted to a few sectors. Hence, policies are required to promote access to employment across the spectrum of sectors and occupations. This will also need investments in diversified sectors and upgradation to high-end activities, particularly in rural and urban areas, along with infrastructural support like transport, housing, sanitation facilities, lights, and so on. This will encourage the female entrepreneurs and will also bring about a change in this sector. The third news is about world's first genetically modified rubber, which has been planted in Assam. So this genetically modified rubber plant, it has been developed by the Rubber Research Institute, and it is the first of its kind which has been developed exclusively for this region and is expected to grow well under the climatic conditions of the mountainous northeastern region. The Rubber Research Institute is under Rubber Board, and this board is responsible for development of the entire rubber industry in our country by assisting and encouraging research, development, extension and training activities related to rubber. It is headquartered at Kottayam, Kerala, under the administration of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The genetically modified rubber has additional copies of the gene manganese containing superoxide dismutase. It is inserted in the plant and is expected to tide over the severe cold conditions during winter in northeastern part. The manganese containing superoxide dismutase gene has the ability to protect plants from adverse effects of severe environmental stresses like cold and drought. Natural rubber is a native of warm, humid Amazon forests and is not naturally suited for the colder conditions in the northeast. So this particular genetically modified variant will be an important beneficial alternative for the same. And growth of young rubber plants remains suspended during the winter months, which are also characterized by progressive drying of the soil. And this is the reason for long immaturity period of this crop in northeastern region. Now coming to the Indian scenario, India is currently the 6th largest producer of natural rubber in the world with one of the highest productivity. The top rubber producing states are Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Government initiatives includes the Rubber Plantation Development Scheme and Rubber Group Planting Scheme. These are examples of all the government-led initiatives for rubber. And it provides 100% foreign direct investment in plantations of rubber, coffee, tea, cardamom, palm oil tree and olive oil tree. Major producers of natural rubber globally are Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, China and India. And the major consumers are China, India, USA, Japan, Thailand, Indonesia and Malaysia. The Department of Commerce brought out the National Rubber Policy in March 2019, and this policy includes several provisions to support the natural rubber production sector and the entire rubber industry value chain. It is based on the short-term and long-term strategies which are being identified by the task force constituted on the rubber sector. And the next news is about Tax Inspectors Without Borders program. Recently, the joint initiative of United Nations Development Program and Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development has launched its program in Bhutan, and here India has been chosen as the partner jurisdiction. So India is going to provide the tax expert for this program. It is expected to be of a duration of 24 months. And this program aims to aid Bhutan in strengthening its tax administration by transferring technical know-how and skills to its tax auditors. And this program will also focus on areas of international taxation and transfer pricing. Transfer price, which is also known as transfer cost, is the price at which related parties transact with each other, such as during the trade of supplies or labor between departments. And multinational companies, they can transfer prices in order to shift profits to lower tax regions. This program is seen as another milestone in the continued cooperation between both the nations, India and Bhutan, and also it highlights India's continued effort towards active support for South-South cooperation. This program, Tax Inspectors Without Borders, is a capacity building program which was launched in the year 2015 to strengthen developing countries' auditing capacity and multinationals' compliance worldwide. It deploys qualified experts in developing countries across the continents of Asia, Africa, Europe, etc. And they help in building tax capacity in areas of audit, criminal tax investigations and effective use of automatically exchanged information. And with this, we have come to an end of today's session. I hope you all will like this video and this is going to be helpful. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll see you all again tomorrow with another session of Current Affairs 365 only on Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC, APSC and NPSC preparations. Till then, take care, keep learning. Bye-bye.
Borthakur IAS Academy. প্ৰস্তুতি আৰু অধ্যয়নৰ নিৰ্ভৰযোগ্য ঠিকনা
Borthakur IAS Academy.